Democrats have literally bought into that premise that if you just say it often enough, it must be true.
Republican U.S. Senator Tim Scott has entered the 2024 presidential race, according to a filing with the U.S. election regulator on Friday. And in a contest where many voters seem hungry for a bare-knuckled fight, Scott is taking a long-shot bet that a message of unity and optimism can still get it done. As the only black Republican in the U.S. Senate, the 57-year-old often points to his personal story as proof that America remains a land of promise.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination.
On the campaign trail, his often sunny disposition presents a major contrast with other declared and prospective candidates, including the insult-hurling former President Donald Trump and Florida's pugilistic Governor Ron DeSantis, both of whom have portrayed the U.S. as a declining nation in need of rescuing from a corrupt leftist elite. But Scott enters the race with a steep hill to climb. Only about 2% of Republicans plan to vote for him in the primary, according to polling averages, and his national name recognition remains low. Still, Scott's chances may be stronger than they appear on paper. He is well known and liked in his home state of South Carolina, which plays a crucial role in the Republican nominating contest, as it is only the third state to cast its ballots. Among the policies he has supported are the creation of opportunity zones to boost blighted communities, and a tax credit program which helps low-income families with children. Scott's entrance into the race puts him in direct competition with another South Carolinian, former Governor Nikki Haley, who launched her campaign in February.
U.S. President Joe Biden told a summit of world leaders on Friday that Washington will back Allied efforts to train Ukrainian pilots to fly F-16 fighter jets. That's according to a senior administration official who said training on the U.S.-made jets will take place in Europe and will require months to complete. The official did not say which countries would be participating in the effort, but added that the U.S. hopes to begin the training in the coming weeks. Biden's support of the training, conveyed at the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan, is welcome news to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is set to join the conference this weekend. Zelensky has long sought Western-designed air power to defend Ukraine against Russia's invading forces. Ukraine says F-16s are far more effective than the Soviet-era fighters it currently has. Poland and Slovakia have handed over 27 MiG-29 jets to supplement Ukraine's current fleet. NATO governments have supplied Ukraine with tanks, artillery, and air defense, but have been wary of contributing fighter jets, worried about leaving their own countries undefended. They have also avoided sending anything that could strike deep into Russian territory and give Moscow a reason to escalate the war. Zelensky received pledges this week from Britain and the Netherlands to help build a jets coalition, although leaders from both countries stopped short of saying they will send jets.
This is Blue Moon.
The battle of the billionaires in space is headed to the moon. Friday, NASA awarded a contract to a team led by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' spaceflight firm Blue Origin to build a lunar landing craft that will take astronauts to and from the moon's surface. 2 years ago, the U.S. Space Agency awarded a contract to Tesla founder Elon Musk's SpaceX for the same thing. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson explained why the agency is now working with both firms.
We want more competition. We want 2 landers, and that's better, and it means that you have reliability, you have backups. It benefits NASA, it benefits the American people.
SpaceX received $3 billion to develop its lander, which aims to return astronauts to the moon for the first time since the final Apollo mission in 1972. The initial missions using SpaceX's Starship system are slated for later this decade. Blue Origin initially lost out to SpaceX and unsuccessfully fought to overturn NASA's decision, first through a watchdog agency and then in court. Now it's back in the plans for moon landings after winning a contract valued at roughly $3.4 billion, NASA said, with the company privately contributing well north of that amount, according to Blue Origin's lunar lander head, John Kalouris.
our endeavors to make human permanence on the moon is been part of our core beliefs for some time. So we want to establish permanence on the moon, and we want to ensure that we have consistent access to the moon. So with that in mind, Blue Origin itself is contributing over 50% of the total effort to get to not only this mission, but to ensure permanence.
Blue Origin is working with Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and others on its moon lander, which is expected to ferry 2 astronauts to the surface in 2029. NASA said it hopes the missions will help it prepare for even farther trips, potentially to Mars.
Ukraine has been battling to maintain power supplies amid Russian airstrikes. Now the country's biggest private energy company is pressing ahead with one key project even as war rages. DTEK has opened the first stage of a 500 megawatt wind power plant. The aim is to boost Ukraine's energy sector after airstrikes left millions without electricity and heating. DTEK CEO Maxim Timchenko.
We are here to celebrate completion of the first stage of 500 megawatt wind project. So we managed to build 140 megawatt capacity during wartime, and it's completion of the first stage.
DTEK started building the plant in 2021, but construction stopped after Russia invaded last year. The facility is less than 62 miles from the front line. Henrik Monefelt is regional head of Fairwind, a company involved with installing turbines at the site.
It has been strenuous for the guys. It has been interrupted multiple times, air alarms, missiles flying by, and so on and so forth. But what I hear from our technicians, our guys, is that they have been so proud of working on this for the simple fact that we are supplying or helping to supply energy to Ukraine.
DTEK said the project will cost around $486 million. Once completed, the Teligul wind farm will be the largest in Ukraine. For now, 19 wind turbines will generate electricity to support Ukraine's energy balance and cut greenhouse gas emissions. Work resumed in April last year, with engineers and workers building 13 wind turbines since then. 6 turbines were built before the war.